What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what earnings are coming out later on for today, what the data suggests that came out this morning, and how the market is reacting so far. But before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below in its description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. This offer ends in just 5 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with Tesla and the market. Tesla came down pretty hard yesterday because we got some bad news involving Meta. I did talk about that. Meta's guidance was quite weak, despite the fact that they had some relatively strong earnings, and we started to see yields continue to go up, at least yesterday. Now, today, yields ended up dropping after we got the GDP news, and this is helping the market rebound. And we're starting to see Tesla show some life this morning. So the question is, will Tesla bounce and keep pushing? I'm recording this during the pre-market at about 6 o'clock a.m., at least for my time. That would be like at just before 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. So this video is a little late, but it's going to be okay. We're going to break down some very important things. So the GDP growth rate came out at 4.9%. That is hotter than what the estimate was. This is causing the market to kind of like rebound a bit as yields are starting to drop anyways. So it wasn't that too like way too low, if anything. And the initial jobless claims report was still, I would say, was very close to what the forecast consensus has happened to be. So quite decent data overall, except the GDP ended up being kind of hot. And this has led to yields dropping just a little bit. GDP sales Q over Q are up 3.5%, and consumer spending is still up. So, does this mean consumers are in a great place? Not necessarily. Consumers are still using up those the credit cards, and just continuing to spend it up, with money they don't truly have. And there is a limit to that. So, we will see how this goes going into next year. But for now, this data is helping the market rebound a bit. For earnings, which we're supposed to have UPS coming out very soon, but Amazon's going to be the big one alongside Intel after the market closes. For a couple of things to know about the market, what would be that Meta jumped 23% in its revenue. That's a nice growth in revenue, but guidance wasn't the strongest, which ended up slowing it down. Morgan Stanley named its next CEO. That's very important. It's going to be Ted Pick to succeed James Gorman. This is going to be effective for January 1st. And then Ford, they still have these UAW strikes going on, and tech ended up sinking quite a bit as Alphabet dropped quite a bit. It is due to rebound soon. Now, Meta dropped quite a bit because of weak guidance, and this ended up having a big effect on the market yesterday. But the market is starting to rebound a bit this morning. Tesla is planning a sports version of the Model 3 with sportier seats apparently, so this is good news for them. Hopefully this, attracts more buyers, especially in Europe. So what do I see on the charts? How are things looking? Here is my answer. Tesla has this unfilled gap towards this 212 area. I think there's a good chance Tesla's going to fill that gap and make its way up to 212. But the question is, can we break this level or not? If Tesla breaks 212, watch it push towards 215, then 216.8 above that, 218, and then 220. In my opinion, we're going to see this thing revisit 212. It might break and push for 215. But be very careful to see if we reject here or not. But there is a good chance of it rebounding more first and potentially slowing down a bit and maybe continuing to push up higher if we break these resistance levels. I see a slight bounce coming. I think Tesla's going to push up a little bit higher, but just to be safe, make sure you watch these levels. We have support at 210, 208, 206, and then 202.5 below that. So watch these levels carefully and just know that Tesla is attempting to rebound. On the 30 minutes time frame, Tesla's curling on the MACD, and on the 4 hour, you can see the same thing is still forming. Tesla is still trying to rebound. Tesla also has a 30 minutes bullish divergence right here, a very slight one. Same thing on the hourly, so that's a good sign for the bulls. Look for a little rebound, and we'll see where Tesla ends up. If Tesla rejects or not off those resistance levels I called out, especially at 215. For SPY, it's also trying to rebound. We're going to be watching 417, 418 as two resistance levels. 418 is going to be important resistance. 419 has some minor resistance, and 420 is going to be significant resistance too. If you want to be really bullish, we need to break above 418 then 420. But if we reject off them, then we could just chop for a bit. If we're bearish, watch 416 as support. If we lose that, watch it come down towards this 414 area. And if we lose that, watch 412.5 followed by 410. Now it looks like with this bullish divergence on SPY, we have a nice bullish divergence right here. You guys can see this quite clearly, right? The RSI is making higher lows. MACD is making a higher low. Price made a lower low. So that's a divergence. SPY looks like it's trying to rebound off of that. So there's a good chance it's going to go higher, try to fill this gap up to about almost 418. I think we're going to see this thing pop a bit more. But then the question is, can we keep going after 418? Are we going to reject off 418 or not? We might see it try to break above it, but we have to hold 418. So watch that test going into today. And if we break it, watch 420, then 422. 420 is going to be another key resistance. Look for a little bit more upside, and we'll see how we react after that. The QQQ is currently at 349. If we break this, watch 350. That's going to be a key resistance. We have to get above 350 to try to turn a bit more bullish. Watch 352 as key resistance if we do break above that, 353.5 and then 355. Now if we reject off 350, watch it come down towards 347. If we lose this, 345 is a real possibility. But my guts tells me, it's going to revisit this 350 resistance and possibly try to break above this for some higher levels. Now on the QQQ, okay, we're currently down about 0.4%, but we have a bullish divergence and we have this unfilled gap all the way up here. So I think it's going to push up higher towards 350. If we break it, watch 351.32 as well. It's a very minor resistance at the 50 EMA. And then we have these other levels after that, 352, 353.5. 352 is going to be a key resistance. That's some key support. So watch that carefully. We'll see if that breaks or not, but that's going to be key. So watch those levels. On Nvidia, we're due for a bounce because I called out 307 to 309 yesterday on Nvidia. I was expecting it to come down to that range. And if you look at Nvidia, I have the chart right here. We formed a slight bullish divergence and we revisited 407, and now we're going to be testing 420 as the next major resistance. So, we have some resistance at 417, but it's not as significant as 420. If we break down, watch 422.5, 425, and then 431 above that. For support, you're going to be watching these levels right here. If we fail to break 417, it's going to come down towards 415. Then we have the support right here at 412, 410, and then we have 407 to 409 below that. But it is looking a bit more bullish. Looks like it wants to rebound a little bit. So watch this 420 resistance. If we get above this, 425 is coming. If we fail, it could reject. So watch these levels carefully. It's looking a bit more bullish. It wants to bounce right now. So watch resistance very, very carefully. Last but not least, for Aapl, Aapl also had a bullish divergence that developed on its chart, which is not bad whatsoever for its standards. If you look at the 30 minutes time frame, we got a nice or slight bullish divergence, and Apple's trying to rebound towards 170. So if you break 170, watch 172 on Aapl. That's going to be the next very, very important level. I'm sorry, 171. Watch 171 if we break that. Watch 172. If we get above 172, you want to see this thing push up for 173.5 and then 175 above that. But for now, if 171 is where we have some resistance, if you break this, there's going to be a big fight at 172. That's where we have some tight resistance as well. For support, watch 170. If we lose that, watch 169 and then 168 below that. My guts tells me Apple's going to try to push a little higher towards 171, and we're going to be fighting for resistance. And I think we're going to actually get up to about 171.09 at the very least, maybe a little higher. So watch this resistance and see if Apple could try to push up a little bit higher. This could help the QQQ and SPY moving forward. All right, guys, so that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla and the market to the moon because the long term is still very bright, and peace out.